It's a beautiful day to make the playoffs. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. This is Tony Gonzalez and Colby Patnode for the Locked On Mariners podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app today. And as always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, you can check out our Patreon. All you have to do to check that out is click the link in the description of this episode. The Mariners' final homestand of the year kicks off tonight, and as we told you yesterday, they can clinch their spot in the postseason with a win and a Yankees win over the White Sox, so we'll be watching that game pretty closely. We'll talk more about what's happening around the league a little later on. We'll also talk about some of the other stuff we're watching for this homestand outside of all the clinch opportunities. But all that really matters right now, Colby, is taking care of business against the worst team in baseball, which is currently sporting the worst run differential since 1900. Negative 404. And that's not just a Coors Field thing. They are the worst pitching team on the road as well this year.
Yeah.
They're
not very good.
They're very bad. And somehow they have a better record than the White Sox last year.
Yeah. I mean, they have Hunter Goodman, who's having a really good year.
Yes.
You know, Mickey Moniak, you remember him? He's still threat to hit some dingers. That's all I got. Herman Marquez still a thing. Hey, remember when the Rocky fans said we'd have to trade Julio Rodriguez to get Herman Marquez?
I do remember that.
Whoops.
Yeah. Or Jared Kelenic, which in hindsight wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Wouldn't be that great though either.
No.
So yeah, it is not exactly a clash of titans setting up here on Tuesday night. But I mean, as you're looking to clinch a playoff spot, that's good. I mean, that's great. That's helpful. So you have to win 2 out of these 3 at the very least. You really should sweep. I mean, there's really no denying that. But you have to win at least 2 out of 3. But if you do sweep, there's a good chance that the Dodgers series doesn't mean anything. So, you know, it is one of those things where you want to be careful not to fall into the trap of you know, playing a clearly inferior team. Remember, the White Sox gave the Mariners, you know, everything they could handle earlier this year. So you really do have to be careful here. I mean, heck, the Orioles, I know they're not as bad as the Rockies, but the Orioles beat you 5 times this year. So it's just one of those things where you can't take any team for granted. Every team has some talent, but this is perhaps the worst pitching team in the history of baseball. And they're coming into your park where you've been swinging the bat. You've been swinging the bat really well. You have to take advantage. I mean, it would be an indictment if this team came out flat tonight. I don't know how many people are going to be at the ballpark. It seems like there's a lot of tickets available, but you know, we'll see. But
I think tickets are as low as like $16 right now.
It's a value game, so technically you can get in for $11. So yeah, I mean, if you're in the area, go. It's very cheap night of baseball, and they might clinch. So in fact, you'll know if they can clinch probably around the 2nd or 3rd inning. So you know, head on down to the ballpark if you can. But yeah, that's just that one little nagging voice in the back of my head about like, hey, you know, what if they come out a little bit flat tonight? What if, you know, human nature takes over and we got this and all that. And, you know, they maybe they don't get punched in the mouth. Maybe they don't give up a 5 spot in the first, but it's a 3-2 game or something in the 6th. And then all of a sudden, you know, they make an error and then it's a home run. And then all of a sudden you're scrambling because you don't want to lose to the worst team in baseball. So there is that factor going against the Mariners, but everything else points to this. This should be a series sweep. I mean, there's really no excuse to lose the game against the guys.
Yeah, and so you sweep the Rockies. You don't have to win a game in the Dodgers series in order to clinch the 2 seed, and you might already have the 2 seed locked up before then, especially with the way that the Tigers are going right now. So, yeah, just handle business against the Rockies and you're going to accomplish everything you want to. Simple as that. And yeah, they're not throwing a pitcher who has an ERA below 6 against you in this series. It starts out here with McCade Brown against Bryce Miller, then Tanner Gordon against Luis Castillo, and finally Bradley Blaylock against, for now, Brian Wu. But I have doubts that Wu is going to start that game. We'll see. We haven't heard anything. I assume, though, it's the start of a homestand. I assume that Justin Hollander is going to speak to the media here in a couple hours. So he'll probably give the word on the Wu situation and maybe what the plan is there. But yeah, I mean, all you have to do is take care of business, and that's it. You don't have to worry really about anything else that's going on outside of things. We will talk about the out-of-town scoreboard a little later on in the show. And obviously, you know, there are some things that could happen to expedite clinching the 2 seed and clinching the division. But in the end, just beat the Rockies. And that is not a tall task whatsoever. Like, it really isn't.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah. You know, the Rockies, like they beat the Astros once earlier this year with Hunter Brown on the mound. So like it could happen.
It's baseball.
Yeah, it's baseball. But they're going to give you plenty of opportunities to get back into the game. If maybe, you know, you find yourself down like 2-0 or something like that, like you'll have chances. So yeah, just, you know, take care of business, keep your foot on the gas. And hey, you know, if you sweep them, then maybe you can actually chill a little bit in the final series of the homestand.
Yep.
So outside of the, you know, obvious clinch opportunities, what else are we going to be watching for this homestand? We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Nutrafol. You've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, yeah, sure, like that actually works. And I don't blame you, because there are so many products out there and it is so hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. And it's not just hype. This is a supplement clinically tested that targets the root causes of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. See thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. And for a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On Mariners listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. For instant reactions following every Mariners game, be sure to tune in to the Mariners postcast with Anderson Hurst and Christopher Crawford, available on both the Locked On Mariners YouTube and podcast feeds. So last night we reached a really cool milestone. We have eclipsed the 15,000 subscriber mark, which is pretty wild, because the last time the Mariners clinched, back in 2022, we had 3,555. So over these last seasons, we have added somewhere in the ballpark of 11,000 more of you. So thank you guys. Welcome to all of you who are new. Looking forward to going on this postseason run with you guys. Should be fun. But yeah, thank you for getting us to 15,000, whether you're new or you've been here for a while, you've been here since day one. We really, really, really appreciate it. So Colby, obviously all that is really important here with this homestand is, you know, getting into the playoffs, winning the division, securing the #2 seed. But outside of that, there's also some other things going on. Obviously, Cal's ability to get to 60 home runs, maybe even push Aaron Judge's American League home run record if he has a red hot homestand, which is certainly possible. We've seen him do it many times this year. There's also, you know, some opportunities here potentially to get some guys in that you typically wouldn't play if, you know, there were some higher stakes and some other milestones. So what else are you going to be watching for on this homestand, especially after they clinch?
Yeah, don't get hurt.
Yeah, it's a big one.
First and foremost, more than anything. I think you'll start to see, or I think, one of the things I'll be watching for, they still haven't really used Munoz in any like non-ninth inning type of situations. They haven't really, used guys out of what they've done for really the entire year yet, and it feels like they're not going to. But it would really be nice, I think, to have Munoz pitch in the seventh one day and just kind of get him used to that. So I still think that's something to watch. There are some individual awards going on. Julio is 2 stolen bases away from 30-30
Yeah.
for the second time in his career. Randy needs, 3 home runs and 2 stolen bases to get to 30-30 himself. So, there's some things. Cal needs 6 stolen bases to get to 50-20. But there's some individual goals like that. Castillo can get to 180 innings if he can go 6 2/3. Was that tomorrow night? When is Castillo?
Yeah, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it's not a huge number, but it's just another incredibly durable season from Luis Castillo. So, yeah, I mean, like, there's some individual things going on, but I think more than anything else, I would really like to see Harry Ford get a start.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's number 1 on my list.
The guy hasn't had a plate appearance since he had the walk-off sac fly. And that was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, he caught in a game. I forget which one it was, but I remember him coming in to catch.
But they specifically,
it was the Angels game.
They specifically did that where he wouldn't get an at-bat. Like, I don't understand. Like, you have this kid up, you dragged him around on your roster for the last 3 weeks, and he's gotten 4 plate appearances. I don't like. I get the idea is not for him to play regularly, but come on.
Yeah.
Like, how's this guy supposed to help you at all in the playoffs if he's not playing? So, I think Harry Ford needs a start. I think he's probably earned a start. I'm interested to see Leo Rivas and Cole Young, how much they play as well. I mean, Rivas really wasn't used on that road trip. He got 1 start, I think. And Cole Young, be honest, how many of you forgot he was on the roster? Raise your hand. If those guys are going to make your playoff roster, they kind of need to see live pitching. They need to get reps here over this homestand. And I understand that, the Astros series, you didn't want to mess around with anything. But if you want these guys, you can't have these guys on your bench in the playoffs and your plan be to never use them. Maybe you could do that with Harry Ford as a third catcher, but at some point you're going to need Cole Young to pinch hit or play defense or pinch run or something. And so maybe managing those guys in a very specific way that you might manage them in the playoffs is fine, but you also need to get them live reps. And because you didn't send down Cole Young to play in AAA and get everyday at bats, you kind of have to give him some reps here over these last 6 games. You probably should give him at least 2 or 3 starts in these 6 games. You might want to give him a pinch hitting opportunity late in one of these games because you might need him to do that off the bench as well. So yeah, there's some things to watch, but nothing earth shattering. The couple guys trying to get to 30-30 is really it for the individual accolades, except for, of course, Cal and how many home runs can he get to 60? Can he get to 62? Can he get to 63 and set the American League record? We'll see. But it's just mostly like, hey, can we get some of these young guys at bats and can we get some of the veterans off their feet a little bit down the stretch here? And I think all that starts really once you clinch that number 2 seed, which is why a sweep against the Rockies would be awesome, because then you can do all those things in the Dodger series and have it not even matter.
Yeah. So, the other thing that I'm looking for, maybe any like last minute roster moves, like do we see Gregory Santos get called back up? Do we see Michael Fulmer? I still think that Ben Williamson is a better fit for the playoff roster than Cole Young is, especially now that you have Leo Rivas here. So do they do anything like that? Maybe give those guys a little bit of playing time before the end of the season. maybe do you give Gregory Santos an inning or two at the major league level? We'll see. So, yeah, but I mean, the big milestone outside of obviously Cal, I want to see Randy and Julio get to 30-30. Now, it's going to take a lot. Like, Randy hasn't hit a home run since he hit that homer against Matthew Liberatore back on the last homestand. So hitting 3 in 6 games after not hitting any over his last 12 or whatever it's been.
Yeah, I think he's also like 1 for his last 28. So
yeah, something like that. So but if they did get to 30-30, both of them, they would be the first American League teammates to ever do that. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. There's also the outside shot that Gino could get to 50 home runs.
Gino's hit 4 home runs in a game this year.
Yeah.
So 5. What, he needs 5?
I think he only needs 3.
Oh, okay. Well, then
yeah, he only needs 3.
Yeah, there's a decent chance he get to 50. Sure.
Yeah.
And he's started to swing the bat better on the road trip, although, home road splits.
Yeah.
They're kind of a real thing with Gino, so we'll see. But he might get to 50. But there's a few individual, accolades out there to go get. But I think most eyes will be on Cal. Can he get to 60? And then if he does, then it immediately would be like, can he get to 63? And I don't know. Like, we watched Cal hit 3 home runs or 4 home runs in 3 games last year to end the season, and to break the record he was chasing then. Can he do it again? Sure. I mean, I'm not going to put it past the guy, but it's just like, I mean, if he hits 59, are we going to be sad that he didn't get to 60? I hope not. But
I mean, by the way, like, only 6 unique players have hit 60 plus in a season. Only 7 unique players have hit 59 in a season. Yeah. So like, but I'm looking forward to, like, if he hits 60, how the national media moves the goalposts even further. Like, oh, well, now he has to break Judge's record. And once he does that, then he's the MVP.
Then he's the MVP. It's
like,
and then after he hits 60 isn't enough.
And then if he hits 60, and then if he hits 63, they'll be like, well, if he catches Barry Bonds here in the next 2 games, like,
he hits 10 home runs in the next. What a ridiculous number Bonds hit, by the way. Good Lord.
Insane.
Like, think about how good Cal is this year and realize he still needed like an extra home run every 10 days to even be 1 shy of Barry Bonds' record.
Crazy. But I mean, that's the dumbest thing. Look, he's got 58 home runs. He's broken all these records. We know how important he is behind the plate. Like, if you don't think he's the MVP at this point, you're not going to think he's the MVP if he hits 2 more home runs.
Well, it's stupid. Like, if he's the MVP at 60 homers, he's the MVP at 58.
Yeah, like, I get the historical significance of hitting 60. Sure. I get it. And we all love round numbers. Mm-hmm. I mean, we literally just talked about getting to 15,000 subscribers for that reason. But, like, come on. Like, he's had one of the greatest catcher seasons of all time. Like, if you think he's the MVP, he's the MVP. If you don't think he's the MVP, you don't think he's the MVP. 2 more home runs shouldn't change that.
Yeah, I mean, like, saying he needs to get to 60 to be the MVP is just you coming up with an excuse because you're not going to vote for him, no matter how many homers he hits. So
we'll see what goes on with Cal. But hey, let's talk a little bit about what's going on the out of town scoreboard, what to keep an eye out for to expedite things in terms of clinching all the stuff you want to clinch in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you once again by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. FanDuel makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners podcast. So obviously everything that the Mariners want to accomplish is within their control this homestand. All they have to do is just win, and they clinch everything. But if they got some help from the outside, that would expedite things and obviously make things easier, especially with the Dodgers waiting at the end of this homestand. So all you need to know on the out of town scoreboard is that you should root for the Guardians against the Tigers. That would lower the Mariners' magic number to clinch the 2 seed. You should root for the Athletics against the Astros, and you should root for the Yankees against the White Sox just tonight. That Guardians Tiger series is going to be crazy.
Yeah, I think it starts tonight with Scooble versus Gavin Williams.
It does. It does.
It's going to be a fun matchup. Yeah, I think what's interesting here is that last night the Padres clinched a spot in the playoffs, right? And they did their on the field celebration. The Mariners are going to the playoffs. We know this. They're going to clinch possibly tonight. I'd say probably tonight. What kind of celebration are you looking for? Knowing that they still have a division to win, knowing that they still have a bye that they can go secure.
Well, and they could very much clinch the division tomorrow. So are they going to go, back crazy in the clubhouse back to back? Like,
because like the Padres did the whole thing like in the clubhouse, but they also did like on the field. They did the little like, jumping up and down and took the big picture. Like we're not going to get the 2022 drought ending party on the field, like obviously.
Yeah, you're not going to get Dan Wilson hopping on the mic and
drunk.
Yeah.
It's like I don't so fast, Scott.
I mean, like I don't think so. At least maybe they still do, but
would you mind if they did?
No.
Like if they did like a big dog pile out there and they were like,
no, I don't care.
They wore the postseason pictures and they,
like making the playoffs, even though that you have the ability to win the division and all that, and that's an even bigger deal. Making the playoffs in general is such a huge accomplishment for how long the season is and for how many things just have to go right for you. Like the fact that you made it to the finish line of the regular season and you got to the next stage, like that's an incredible accomplishment. They should absolutely go celebrate that however they want.
I will be interested to see if they do clinch tonight. What's the vibe like? Because it is something worth celebrating, but also there are much bigger things ahead that they can claim. They could happen as soon as, like you said, tomorrow. So are they going to do like back to back like big parties? I mean, and then even then they could still clinch the number 2 seed the following day. So like, is there going to be like a big thing 3 nights in a row, or is it just going to be they're going to save it all for one big celebration or what? I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how they choose to celebrate tonight if they happen to get it. I mean, the Yankees still have to beat the White Sox, and you still have to beat the Rockies. So the odds are good that it happens tonight, but they're not 100%. So we'll see what happens. But
I mean, FanGraphs says that it's 100%.
Yeah, which makes me think 0-6 might be coming for both the Mariners and the Yankees. So, whoa. I think Baseball Reference has them at 99.9%.
Okay,
which somehow makes me feel better.
There you go.
So, the Mariners are going to be in the playoffs. Just a matter of when, and it will probably be tonight. And I'm just interested to see, like, do they sell? Because obviously in 2022, that's a whole different ball game, right? That's breaking the drought, and you did it on a walk-off home run and all that, like in the final, the fourth from last game.
So what I'm curious about is how are you going to feel when they clinch? Like, it's obviously not going to be as stressful, as emotional, like anywhere close to that as it was in 2022, but it's been a long couple of years, right? We had such high expectations going into 2023, and they missed the playoffs despite having that red hot month of August. And then Jerry says the 54% thing, and since then all we've heard is 54%, right? And now they're here 3 years later. They're finally back. They're going to get into the playoffs. And I mean, this is only going to be the second time since I was 5 years old that they're going to be in the playoffs. So, I mean, that still means a lot. And that's still something that I mean, again, we talked about this, like when they lost to the Astros in the ALDS, we all thought like, oh, they're going to get back. And then they didn't get back. And then the next year they didn't get back. And it's like, when is this going to, like, are we starting a new drought? Like, what's going on, And so now that they're getting back, like, that's still like, I still feel emotional about that. I'm definitely not going to be brought to tears tonight if they do it like I was in 2022. But I do think that there is like kind of like a little bit of a, even though that I know it's going to happen already, and kind of that there was already like that sigh of relief over the weekend after they swept the Astros. I just kind of feel like this, and maybe they feel this way too, or maybe they don't, whatever. But I just kind of feel like this weight will be lifted off of all of our shoulders in a way, just like getting in, and now like let's have some fun. Let's go win the division. Let's go get the 2 seed. Let's go kick ass in October.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how I react. I think it's probably just like, that's awesome. What's next? Like,
Yeah,
because again, like I feel like this team's earned that kind of like they're in the playoffs, and it's just paperwork right now that's keeping them out of it. And once they file that, they're in, and then the eyes are, the prize is just bigger this time around. They can win a division. Last time they could. Like the best they could do was a wild card, and that was great, but there was nothing left to play for after that. You're either going to be the 5 or the 6. Who cares? Like, so
well, and the goal for so long was just to get in.
Right, break the drought.
Just in the drought, get in, and let's just see what happens, right? They wound up winning a playoff series, and it was like, wow, that exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
But now it's like, again, like I said, going into the Astros series, like the Astros weren't the finish line. Overcoming them wasn't the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to win the whole thing this year. And so yeah, it's different. The stakes are different. I think the fan base just won't feel satisfied by just making it, or even just winning the division. And I think the same is absolutely true for all those men in that clubhouse. So it's definitely a different vibe, but still it's such a great accomplishment, and it's an accomplishment that we're just not too familiar with. So it's still a very big deal, even though that it's like kind of a given at this point, and definitely pales in comparison to how important 2022 was.
You don't want to take it for granted, but also you don't want to act like this was the end goal. So it's just kind of one of those things where celebrate however you want, and just show up to work the next day ready to go, because there's still things left to win, more important things than this even. So we'll see how they do it. Again, we'll see how they celebrate. I don't know how I'm going to react. Probably just like, awesome. Really happy for this. I can't wait for the playoffs to start, but also bigger fish to fry. So we'll see how the team reacts. We'll see how the fan base reacts. But I think the Mariners have raised the bar from themselves, and also for this fan base, on what is truly worthy of like big time celebration, and that's a good thing. But also don't take it for granted. It's not a guarantee you get back here next year, as we learned in 2022.
All right, that is going to do it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners podcast. For Colby Patnode, I'm Titan Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at @LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Titan Gonzalez, and Colby at CPAT11. That's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG, Colby at MLB Colby, and the show at Locked On Mariners. You can also find us on Instagram at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.